it. Take it. Take it.
How do I take it on from your finger?
With your finger. Phil, you want to try?
How did I do that?
Like really bad at this.
Let's do it.
Oh! Warp Derby programmers. I'm Matt Bradbury, programming lead on Warp Derby.
I'm Sahil Gulati, programmer on Warp Derby.
Brian Whitman, programmer, Warp Derby.
Phil, programmer on Warp Derby.
The initial programming challenges we had starting the game was the first thing that we worked on was in December. We did the warp spur game, getting cars to teleport through portals in the engine was our first and most basic challenge. And from there, we started working on our networking components, and that's kind of been the ongoing challenge since December. Jesse, we just play video games. Come on, Sile, pick it up. Right. You want to like them injustice, bro? Cameo. Biggest thing with art, the biggest challenge we have with art is generally getting new vehicles in the game. The pipeline for that is a little more involved than most of the other assets we get, like particle effects or just basic static meshes. So usually Anthony will, actually the artists in general, like Mike will model the car, and then Ryan will texture and UV the car, and then Anthony will rig the car, and he'll pass it over to me, and me and Anthony work together to kind of integrate it into the engine and get the vehicle controls feeling right and all the physics properties of the vehicles feeling right. Everything else is pretty straightforward with all the other art assets. They just kind of go in pretty naturally. UDK makes the pipeline pretty robust and easy to use.
UDK is a blessing and a curse at the same time. It gives us a lot of functionality out of the box, but with the advantages that gives us, we get disadvantages when we want to do something very specific. We have to go in and try and tweak the engine as much to make it as customizable as possible for our needs. A lot of times they'll give us a lot of responsibility in the design of the system, and then we'll start the system and then they'll give us input, and there's a lot of back and forth between the programmers and producers, and you end up with a feature that's pretty well designed because it had a lot of programmer input and design input at the same time.
So before Vertical Slice, we were really concentrating on getting the death match up. So it was like a free-for-all. We had got one map really good done for that kind of mode. All the art was in. We changed the car a little bit after that, but there was one custom card that we had in. There were spools were working. The basic mechanics were all in. So that's what we wanted to do and show a free-for-all deathmatch type for Vertical Slice.
The socket system in the game is the core of our customization. It's going to allow the users to go into what we call Joe's Garage, and you're going to be able to plug parts onto your car, which are tied to the abilities that you can use in the game. So when people are driving around the game, you're going to actually be able to determine what kind of player they are, what they can do to you based on the parts that they have. But the socket system is important because it allows us to dynamically modify the model itself, the model of the car itself. The metric system allows us, after every game we write out stats to our database, and it allows us to go back and look at how players, what kind of patterns have been forming with players, and how they've been using the hazards to kill each other. We can see what's overpowered, what's underpowered, what needs to be more utilized. If things aren't being noticed on the map that we'd like to be noticed, it's a really powerful tool for the design process and the development process.
It helped us with our complicated kill attribution system, where we try and reward players for getting very unique and complicated kills instead of just a crater kill or a grinder kill. We want to reward them for using portals, using jump pads, using impulse, using their abilities for those kills as well.
jumpsuit and some house slippers. Dookie brown leather jacket that I found. Dig it.